With 16 days to go until the NBA draft, rumors are heating up around the Chicago Bulls as they are now linked to possibly moving up for Matas Buzelis. We're going to be talking about Matas Buzelis and if he is a great prospect for the Chicago Bulls. This is Rico Greenhowe, and this is another episode of Bulls Digest. And before we jump into it, want to let you know that 76.2% of you guys that watch the videos are not subscribed to the channel, so make sure you hit that subscribe button so you can stay up to date with the latest news and happenings around your Chicago Bulls. Without further ado, let's jump into the topic of the day here, guys, which is Matas Buzelis drafted to the Bulls. Or is he? All right, so we've been recently linked to possibly going after Edey and Clingan. Now we are possibly linked to Buzelis here. And so Buzelis is a 6'8" power forward that has a 6'10" wingspan, guys, and I must say that it is pretty impressive with what I had to see here on tape. And so now the Chicago Bulls are possibly linked to possibly moving up to him. It looks like that some mocks have him at 3, some have him fallen to 11. This is what's very interesting about this NBA draft. We're seeing kind of names kind of go up and down in this draft, but I must say, guys, initially when I see this guy, I definitely like it here. So you can go ahead and you can actually see this article pretty much everywhere, but it is on Bulls Wire. But let's take a look here at Buzelis. And he, again, is a 6'8" power forward that has a 6'10" wingspan. You notice that he averaged 14.3 points per game, 6.9 rebounds a game. But look here at the three-point percentage, guys, only 27.3% from the field here. And so let's talk about that before I dig a little bit more into this. So when you look at this, initially you're saying to yourself, you do not want to get another big like Vooch who is going to shoot just 29%. And the interesting thing about Buzelis is that he was the number 7 prospect out of high school before he went out there to play, I believe, with the G League Ignite. Showed a ton in his game. He was a very good three-point shooter in high school, but really struggled here in the G League Ignite. And so that's what's been kind of the question mark about him. But there's a lot more to love about this young man's game. So when we bring it up again, he's a versatile offensive player, pretty much who can use a lot of different tools, man. He has a lot of stuff in his bag that he can go through. And I'm talking about has the ability to catch and shoot. He has the ability to create space, which he's a shot creator, which is what the Bulls desperately need. He will run the floor, which is definitely going to be a bit of fresh air for the Chicago Bulls as they need help in all those departments here. Displays a very good touch, and he is terrific at being on a string with his teammates. Terrific, I think, with the off-ball defense is right on there. I think that his float game, like they were talking about with the touch, like you'll see that he gets like these unorthodox hook shots and stuff like that off the glass. Terrific feel for the game, and he is a spacer, guys. So there is a lot to love about this guy. I think that, number one, he checks the height. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to get a lot bigger there. And the fact that he will actually go in and bang, guys. There were clips where he was going in, he was giving people the back down, and then he was going to some sweet finishes either off the glass or he is definitely not afraid to dunk on you, which I love that about him. I mean, this guy has a swagger on 100, so I think that confidence is something that he is not lacking. Now, the big thing about this and why we're linked to this young man is that, for one, he played in high school in a suburb outside of Chicago. So, number one, he's pretty close to, pretty much he is a hometown kid there. And just number two, guys, the fact that we actually have gone out and we've worked him out along, I believe, with Devin Carter in LA. So that's another thing to note. So we've already done a private workout. So that's two things that kind of makes it seem like this might be of interest for the Chicago Bulls. And so, that kind of leads us into what exactly could get him to slip into the draft. And so you look, he's a little loosey-goosey with the ball. That means that he'll kind of dribble into some turnovers. One thing that they talk about too is that his finishes at the rim are affected a lot by the stronger players, so he needs to get a bit more muscular there. He's a subpar defender, so you saw the on-ball defense is really really good, but he struggles when it comes to one-on-one defense, and you'll see here against quicker players and kind of getting over screens, he definitely struggles there. And then we just talked about the three-point percentage, okay? So below 30% during the G League season, but remember, he shot 43% in high school. So that's really the downfall here. And so I was going to bring up that clip with Edey here. I'll get to that just a second. But what I was going to say is that, just looking at his flaws, guys, I mean, he's going to be a little bit more of a project for us. And that's the one thing I think that we should consider. I think that it shows on the Ringer here, what you were looking at, that profile, is that he compares a lot to Lamar Odom, which I like that a lot. And I think he has a little bit of a more athletic Laurel Marketing feel to him too. And he's a lot more of a banger. So that's what I love about him. At that height, like I said, he's definitely a guy that if he's at 11, I don't think I have a issue at all taking him. Now that moves on to this, guys. So look, we've worked out Buzelis, we've worked out Carter, but what about a guy like Zach Edey and Donovan Clingan? Okay, so these are two centers that we know, I think, that are the most NBA ready, and I think that their talents definitely go ahead and they translate directly to the NBA. And, I know that they probably need to work on their foot speed. That's to probably say a little bit of an understatement, but that's the one thing that I loved about Edey and that I love about Clingan here, is that both of their games translate in the NBA. So that's the point that I really wanted to bring up. And the fact that we have not worked them out, guys, I mean, that is a bit interesting to me, because not that I have a problem with the fact that we worked out Carter and we worked out Buzelis, but even if we don't have a chance at Clingan, who a lot of people, I think somebody said that there's like an 80% chance that he'll probably go 3 and we may not trade up for him, which is fine. But the fact that we haven't even worked them out, that makes me wonder, all right? Because now I'm thinking about like the Lakers and what they did with Kobe Bryant. Like, they didn't even have that pick to go out there and get Kobe at the time, but they worked him out, and Jerry West was so in love with him that he traded up to get this guy. And so that's what I'm saying, like, with Chicago, if you're interested in a guy, even if you don't even have a chance, I think you still have to work it out. I know it's 16 days left, but that's just really the question for me going into this thing, guys. So based off what we're talking about, what do you guys think? I mean, we've talked about Carter. We've talked about Buzelis. Do you guys want to get Matas Buzelis? Do you feel like, hey, we get Buzelis, then we move DeRozan over to the 2 if he stays with us, we sign him, right? Then if we're bringing back Patrick Williams, we can move him to the 3. We can pair him with Vooch for a little bit of time until we essentially probably trade him for a bag of chips or something and go get something else. Do you guys think we go that route, or do you think that Chicago is going to do like they've always done and go ahead and pick up another guard in Devin Carter, who I will say, he rebounds at a high clip, shoots the three-pointer extremely well, finishes in contact extremely well. He's a playmaker. It's just that we're looking at the fact that we are getting another guard, and one of the things they talk about is the mechanics of his jump shot is not that great, which I could care less because it goes in the basket. But do you guys think that we're going to go with Devin Carter? Do you guys feel like we're going to go with Buzelis? And, guys, let me know what you guys are thinking in the comments again, and what we're thinking here, because like I said, we've worked out 2 players, but there's a couple players that I think a lot of us are interested in that we have not worked out, which is a question for us. So, here's Devin Carter right there. Nice shot. And then we also got the smooth looking Buzelis, guys. I mean, look how smooth this is. Just effortless. Wow. Right. So let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking between those 2 players. Once again, man, this is Rico Greenhowe with Bulls Digest. And even though we have no idea what we're doing in the NBA draft, and we might go with another guard, which means that, you guessed it, we might be doing the merry-go-round. Anyway, go Bulls. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, peace.